Welcome back to Terraria. As you can see, everything's basically the same. I didn't even stop the game. I just reset the recording. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm starting to go down. I actually should have brought a bucket so I could put some water at the bottom of this. And missing that, I noticed there was a little bit of floor over here. Sorry, I kind of forgot I was recording for a second there. So yeah, as I was saying before, things have changed, but apparently not enough to warrant any major differences in the game. There are the slight differences, such as the new minerals and new biomes, but we haven't seen any of the new biomes yet. I actually haven't even seen any of the new minerals yet. Have enough to build it. Sorry if it gets a little bit annoying that I keep double checking to make sure that all works, but it's really bad when you get stuck in a hole. Able to get out, but you can't. Anyway, as I was saying, we haven't really actually seen anything new, other than some mobs and some of the new, like, gravestones and things. Yeah, 1.2 is, like, Terraria has an awkward way of updating. With most games, normally whenever they update, it's usually some, hey, we've changed one or two things. Terraria, like 1.0, the game is complete. That's great. 1.1, they completely changed the game. They added new modes, they added new ways. Like, it was basically a brand new game. 1.2 is basically the same. They've added so much new stuff. I don't even know all the new things. I tried to keep up with some of the news, but like I'm not really all that big. Gobbler. I don't sit watching news hours at a time. Or I don't sit there reading patch notes or anything for hours at a time. I just kind of take things as they come. But from what I've noticed, from what I've seen and read, apparently there are all kinds of new things, such as there, instead of like, as well as going into hard mode, there are now new worlds you can go to as like the new form of in-game. Which is interesting to think about. Not exactly sure how that's going to turn out, but that's why we're here, isn't it? Find out how things are going to be. Go down a couple more blocks, and then I'm going to go to the right, because I saw there was a damage marker over here. So one thing I am noticing is dirt blocks are stacking higher. If I remember right, things used to stack to 250. And I have 320 right now, so that's more than... I don't know where I was going. But yeah, don't know if they've added new stacking styles. Oh sweet, there's a little bit of a light source there. But, on my little wiki page that I have open, I haven't read, like, I was trying to look up how to build rope, and it says that rope can be stacked up to, 999, so kind of thinking the same for dirt and other basics items. So, oh, that's good. Not. Oh, even if it only goes up to 400, that's 50. Sweet, blowpipe. I got the blowpipe in one of my Let's Dies. And rope. This is what I was talking about. Just let's loot all. Rope is very similar to chain in the way that you build it. You can build it upwards and then jump on it. It makes it very easy or very useful for. You go away, you stupid worm. Okay, that was an awkward sight. Oh, is that a health bar for every individual length? Well, obviously, the higher worms actually have their health built that way. As I was saying, rope is one of those, I believe you can fall through it, as you can see, but if you press up or down on it, up holds on a little better, on short little bits of rope, down doesn't really. So if you're falling, you could hit up and grab onto it. This makes for a new and improved elevator experience. Just new feature. I'm kind of happy I can show it off. We put it here. We just put one little bit of rope there. We can jump up, grab onto it, and jump over. You can be more complex and have like a rope coil that leads all the way down to wherever. Okay, sorry, I was just doing a little bit of reading into that wiki page. Apparently, rope doesn't get crafted, you purchase it. Which is a nice little addition. There really aren't that many things that were worth the purchase. So adding something like rope does add to some late game mercantile. I'm trying to think of some things that I used to actually buy off the merchants. Really wasn't much. Pretty much everything they sold, I could either craft or craft a better version of, which kind of sad. I think sometimes I'd buy arrows rather than build them, but that was more of a convenient thing than a necessity. Yeah, I mean, there were, like, some clothes and stuff you could get, like, that you could only buy. But out of the things that you could buy, like, pretty much after you bought them, there was no reason to go back. So you'd end up having, like, a ton of cash once you finished off. Like, yeah, now that I have every item in the game, I have no reason to buy any of these things. And I think I just drowned. I can jump up to the top. Over. Forgive me for a second, I gotta check out a text message I just got. Okay, sorry about that. As I was saying, it is nice that some of the features they're adding are to directly addressing some old problems. At the same time, it's a little bit sad that some of the problems are simply put a necessity in, and at the same time, one of those necessities that probably won't last very long. Once you get wings and rocket boots and all that, rope's going to become a lot less of a necessity and a lot more of a... I want to say it actually might become a bit of an annoyance, short of anything except for maybe maybe a elevator. It might be useful. But yeah, you have wings. If you have wings in the horseshoe, you're not taking fall damage. You can jump higher and farther and faster, especially if you have the rocket wings. But, I mean, as you can see right now, it's very crucial. It probably will be for a while. sorry. I keep getting a little bit, like, awestruck. Like, hey, I haven't played this game in so long, and it's so much different. So, I do apologize about that if I start kind of focusing a little bit more than talking. Yeah. So, as I was saying, rope is a nice little addition, but it's one of those things that it could be better. And I do like the fact that rope is, like, there is a craftable version of rope, the chain. And it's really nice that the way the chain is, because the chain uses something that is pretty much a crucial metal. It uses either lead or iron. And I'm assuming that the addition of the extra metals that do basically the same thing is not going to really affect the rarity. Like, I know a lot of people would probably be like, well, now that I can make things out of lead as well as iron, then every bit of lead and iron I get, or every iron's worth half as much, because every lead takes up half of that value. But at the same time, they're still both very important to your crafting and building. And it's just kind of like one of those, well, like when you got to hard mode and you had to use copper to build your boss summoning. Well, I'd actually had to, like, the first time I ever did that, I actually had to restart because I'd, like, mined out, like, all the copper I could find, and threw most of it away once I'd gotten, like, I sold it off. So, I had no way to get copper. And, like, I mean, I probably could have found some, but, like, I'd done some digging. And I'd gotten a lot of copper just to sell it off. Water there. But yeah, so it's just kind of one of those, having extra minerals is great, but it doesn't really lower their value. I'm trying to think of a real-world example of that, but I'm kind of lacking in that area at the moment. I guess probably the best real-world example I can think of is something like, just because precious stones exist, don't make gold any less valuable. So diamonds don't really mess too much with the value of gold. Which, I really don't know if that's true or not. I'm just kind of assuming. I'm not an economist. It's a term for a person who does economy for a living. Economist, or... Yeah, like, I didn't take any economical studies, like, other than, like, generalized, booking and paying your taxes, because that was an easy math credit. I think I actually just wasted a potion on that, too. Anyway, now that I'm back up here, and I didn't find a lot down there. One thing I'm going to keep is my blow dart, because it allows you to pick up seeds, which are its ammunition. And let's see if I can actually hit that. It does 9 damage. So at this level, it's a good find. Later on in the game, it's kind of a, like, instant sell find. How is he covered in arrows? Anyway, it's one of those things that if you find it early on, it's useful. If you find it after the point where you have, like, some high-end arrow, like, bows, it loses its value quickly. But at the same time, like, I'm not even in armor yet, although I could actually probably build wooden armor now. Oh, too much hassle. Hell, I can build copper armor now. Like, this vein's as big as it looks. But copper down there. Cap that real quick. I think I actually might have enough copper to build a set of copper armor now. Or, I mean, not a full set, but at least a couple of pieces. It's one weird thing. You start this game with some copper gear, so it kind of takes away from the value of copper. I think if I had to make any honest statement, I think that they probably should change it so that you start off with wooden gear. And yeah, I mean, just plain and simple. Like, I understand why you start off with something, because you can't just go around with an empty slot and try to hit things. Minecraft, you can't punch a tree Bruce Lee style and then turn it into a pickaxe. I understand with that. I partially agree with that. But at the same time, because of the way that works, there isn't a lot of reason. Like, copper is one of the most fruitful metals there is, because it's the, like, lowest tier. But there isn't much reason to have it, other than summoning hard mode bosses, and that's kind of a stupid thing to do. I mean, it's not stupid to summon the hard mode bosses, but I mean, it's like, hey, you now have... I'm trying to think of something simple. It's like, now you have, like in Minecraft, for example, it'd be like, hey, wood. There's no reason to build wood, or to build things out of wood after your first wooden pickaxe. Like, literally, your first wooden pickaxe, it's only good for about 3 blocks. After the first 3 blocks you knock out with your wooden pickaxe, there's no reason to ever build wooden items again. Because those first 3 blocks you knock out with your wooden pickaxe, you knock out stone. Well, now, stone pickaxe, 3 times better than wooden pickaxe, lasts longer, knocks harder, is capable of hitting things that aren't stone. I mean, that's like the limitation. Wooden pickaxes aren't good for nothing other than stone. That was not a very good sentence. But yeah, if it's not stone, like, what is it? Dirt and stone? Or, no, dirt's not a pickaxe. Coal and stone. Are the only things that you can pick with it. So, like, what's the point of having it after you get those? Okay. But yeah, so wood is kind of like that, like, or copper is kind of like the wood. Because you need a little bit of wood so that you can build stuff like planks and other, like, well, stuff like the sawmill, the loom, just furniture in general. Kind of like in Minecraft, you need wood to be able to build your higher level gear, because you still need that wooden handle. And copper's just kind of one of those, it's useless after a certain point. And I kind of disagree with those. Like, I understand if you're gonna move on, you move on. But if you're gonna take something that, hey, this item is now, okay, this is bad. Like, this item is now completely useless, but you know what? We're actually gonna turn around and make it not just useless. We're going to now make it the most important item, because you use it to summon bosses, or you use it to, it's the only thing that can kill this certain bad guy. I mean, we're not talking like the Halo pistol, where it can kill anything almost instantly. We're talking about, like, the Duke Nukem pistol, where the only reason you use it is because you don't have the shotgun yet. Actually, once I get back to the house, I'm gonna do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison with my blow dart, or my blowgun, and my boomerang, or my new boomerang. I think the blow dart is actually stronger, but boomerangs are useful. So, in general, it's useful to have a boomerang. I am so out of practice. My gear sucks now, so. Also, one thing I'm liking, the trees, like, it seems to just be the top of the trees kind of that twisted, but it's different. It looks good. I can't really complain about something being different because of how long things have been the same. There don't really seem to be any wooden pickaxes or anything, though. It is kind of a sad thing. Anything with goldfish? No, not really. Can I actually? No. Okay. As you can see, I can build rope coil. It creates a climbable line of rope. So basically, like that little bit of building I was doing with the rope, it basically does all that at once. I'll actually just make one so we can try it out in a minute. Oh, cool, you can actually craft Jester's arrows. Jester's arrow, if you don't know, they're kind of like little bomb arrows, they explode at the end. Like, all the time. I actually should have enough iron. First thing I'm gonna do is build an iron pickaxe. Sweet, legendary. That's actually... Go ahead and deposit all, actually. Oh, cool, that. For that, 15. Okay. Damage there, 9 damage there. This has a plus 15% knockback, which is nice, and it's very fast. Very slow, though. So... compared to... It's kind of a little bit of a... the speed of the boomerang is actually a little bit... Because once it hits something, it comes back. At the same time, if you miss, your boomerang's gone for... Like, as soon as you hit something, it's right back. But you miss, stuck until it comes back. I think I'm gonna stick with the blow-bop. A blow-bop. I either need to make a new language or I has trouble with English, apparently. Although one thing I probably should have done was build a copper instead of armor. Armor's nice, but I just don't have anything. Also, by the way, legendary, as you can see, extra damage, extra speed, extra size, extra knockback, extra critical. It's, in general, just very... There we go. Not very much. Is the health regaining? Seem to have changed the health regain again. 1.1 they changed health regain, so you had a... Oh, it seems to still be there. As I was saying, in 1.1 they changed health regain so that you always regained health. In 1.0 you didn't have natural health regeneration. It was kind of a problem because you were using up certain slots for health regeneration items and not for items that were actually useful, such as the wings or the boots or anything like that. Although, how slow it is, I am seeing the benefit of having a fire. A little bit of combat regeneration is always amazing. I think my cat's outside. Kind of bugging me a little bit. How long have I actually been recording this? Actually seems like a great place to my oil. See, I throw it up there. And I think that's about 10 blocks large. And let's see if I knock this down. Yeah, so it's 10 lengths of rope, and it's the size of 10 lengths of rope. But you can throw it. And, as you just noticed, knocking it down, you get back all 10 lengths, so there's actually no point not to just throw them around. I mean, there's probably plenty of points not to. No real reason to be shy about it. Other than perhaps maybe you don't want to waste it. Rope seems to be the new, one of the most useful items now. It's just kind of one of those, you can move it, you can, hey, I want to go get something off the ceiling, so throw a little bit of rope up there. Okay, now I have it off the ceiling, I don't want it anymore. Okay, cut it down, move it. Kind of like wood platforms, but you don't have to build annoying little tracks. Looking at the way the wood platforms are now, or the way things are placing, you probably want to have to build the new and annoying little traps anyway. sure I can grab a hole out. As you can see over here, there's a different type of background. Not sure what that means. Find out in a minute. I think that's the mossy background that was, like, we saw earlier. Sorry, someone's kind of, like, actually kind of freaking out about Terraria. Because, like, it hasn't been updated in so long, and they're, like, trying to figure out if, like, if it's new or something. Actually a little bit fun, because I'm like sitting here playing Terraria, and then one of my friends is kind of like, oh my god, dude, did Terraria get an update, or like, what's going on? It's updating. I'm like, you have no clue what's going on. It's like, it's been saying it on the page for like the last 2 months. Anyway, I really shouldn't be like saying stuff like that. Be like, yeah, like he must be blind. He's not paying attention at all. I'm like, yeah, just 5 minutes ago I said I don't really pay too much attention to news. Cut down my own torch. Oh, new background. I don't have my hammer. You can kind of see the subtle difference. This is a dirt background over here that I have the torch on, but this actually isn't a background. This just means I'm so deep. It's kind of like the sky. It's not a background, it's just what's behind the background. So in theory, I could actually build a background over this, I believe. I'm trying to remember how it used to work. I'm pretty sure you can build a background over it if you have like a starting point. The problem is you have to build the background from the background. But that's not something you're really gonna like. Having underground housing is not something you're gonna want to do for a while. Like, that's kind of like a late game tactic, and it's, in my opinion, it's not really one of the better late game tactics. Come here. There we go. Now you're dead. Climb. I'm gonna knock off this block. And let's go up this cave. One of these days, like, I'm kind of hoping they added, like, some type of spider or something. Because, like, there are a lot of spider webs all over the place, like cobwebs, which, if you didn't know, are normally created by spiders. There are a few other insects that create cobwebs, but the big one are spiders. Actually, got into a fight with somebody over something. Not that, and not so much a fight, just kind of like a little bit of an argument over something very similar to that. But yeah, basically, like, we went into their, like, it was either the basement or the attic, and like we were looking at some of the stuff we needed to get for a barbecue, or something very similar to a barbecue. Here. But yeah. And like they had cobwebs all over the place. So I'm like, hey, you should probably, like, after we're done here, you should probably do something about the spiders. Because I know she's like deathly afraid of spiders. So I'm like, hey, you should probably do something about all the spiders that are up here. And she just starts freaking out, like, what do you mean? Where do you see a spider? How do you know there's spiders here? And all that stuff. And I'm just like, there are cobwebs, which means there are spiders, which means we're freaking out because of the spiders. Okay, I'm gonna run back to my house real quick. It's not that far. My cat is outside, and he's not supposed to be outside. Whoever let him out. Yes. He likes to go outside. He likes to run between people's feet, and he doesn't like to come back in until he realizes he's outside. I'm gonna go ahead and end this recording, and I'll be back in a few minutes.